Hi, this is Melanie with Red Clover Reader, and here at Red Clover Reader, we're on a mission to help authors reach wider audiences and to give families affordable access to fun online content that they feel good about. And today we're talking with Marla Huehmer, the author of Andrew the Blue-Eared Puppy. Hi, Marla.
Hi there.
So Marla, can you tell us a little bit about how your journey into children's writing began?
Sure. Yeah, I worked in the schools as a school psychologist for some time. And then I ended up having my daughter, my eldest daughter now. And I decided to stop working and I decided to stay home with her and focus all my time and energy on her. So then as the years progressed, we did our regular routines. And then one day we went to a bookstore, a regular stop at the Barnes and Noble by the house here. And she wanted to buy a little stuffed animal puppy. And I was like, oh, we buy so many toys. And she says, oh, please, Mommy, can we just take him home? And I said, okay. And then we brought him home and she brought him into her bedroom. So she brought him into the bedroom and she started introducing him to all her little toys there. And then that's when I came up with the idea for a book. And so that night we were thinking of a name. I said, let's call the pup. I'm going to think of a story about what just happened here because I saw you introduce your little toy to your other toys. And I said, let's write a story about it. She said, okay. And I said, I'm going to call your puppy Andrew in the story. What color should his ears be? And she said blue. So she rhymed it. It was really cute. And so then she went to bed that night. And then all of a sudden I just sat down and I typed out the story. And I made tweaks here and there, of course. And then we decided, you know what? Let's make pictures for our story. I said, we went to Michael's, the local craft store, and we purchased paper, and we came up with a plan, and we sketched our designs. I sketched them, and I got her ideas, and then I let her pick out all the colors and all, the textures of the paper and whatnot. So, and every day we'd get up and we cut together and paste together. And then pretty soon, about a year and a half later, we had this book that we created together. And she was so excited about it. She loves to read it. Even to this day, she loves to read it too. So
yeah, great. So the illustrations are really like paperwork. They're really like paper art, right? Like,
oh yeah, gosh. All hand cut. Yeah.
So what was the process like of turning those creative illustrations into a book? Was that difficult?
I guess it was because it took me 4 years later to even try to think about publishing it and how to get it to look like a book, a real book. Mm-hmm. And so it's so funny because it happened to be because I had met this designer, graphics designer, because I had created a little label over here in California. They didn't want us to they wanted us to use our bags, bring our own bags. So I had created this silly little sticker that says, don't forget your bags. And I had him use a computer to create this sticker for me. And it was something you could put in your window. And somehow through that process, it clicked to me like, oh, I can probably do the same kind of idea with my books.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to understand how I figured it all together. I think it's because I was giving him an idea and then sending him an email and he was sending me back things. It was just strange. And then I thought, maybe something's clicking here. So then I spoke to my husband because he's a computer guy. And I said, let's try to make this into a book. So I called Create Space and I asked him, I want to illustrate this book myself. I wrote it myself. And it said, give me some ideas on, what I need to do to get this book out there. So they sent me, the format that I'm supposed to use. And my husband and I together, we scanned the pages and we formatted it the way they wanted to. We had to create our whole back side because I didn't really have a back part of the book.
Uh-huh.
And it was relatively difficult because we had to move, characters, some characters around because we had to make so many more pages. But overall, it was kind of challenging, but it was definitely worth it. So.
So you were really involved in every step of the book production process, from the story to creating
Oh,
the illustrations and formatting and everything.
oh, definitely. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. So it was kind of nice.
And so there's kind of a message behind Andrew the Blue-Eared Puppy
Uh-huh.
about social inclusion and being a good friend. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think the reason why I wrote it is because so many kids can feel left out, especially when you're the new person in a new situation or a new environment. You know, you kind of step into a room and you feel awkward, and you feel like everybody's looking at you and that you're different. You know, and then I think once somebody comes along and takes your hand and starts introducing you to other people and then starts telling you about each person, then you start perking up a little like, oh yeah, hi, Carrie, I write books, or oh yeah, I shop at this store too, or oh, I get my hair cut that same style, so then you start to feel comfortable because you're hearing some commonalities, I guess you can say. And I think oftentimes, we throw kids out there into different situations and just expect them to just adjust, but I think it's so important for people to take their time and really make the child feel comfortable where they are. So in
Okay.
schools and whatnot, so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
that's great. I really like the story, and I think the illustrations are unique and just really fun and clever. So, how old was your daughter when she helped with that, with the illustrations? Well, it was
It
over a year-long process, right? A year and a half process.
took us a year and a half, so she started when she was about 2.5. And
Wow.
there's a lot of pieces where I would hold the paper up and then she would cut it, so
Uh-huh. Wow. So,
there's one page in there where she's holding a little Andrew and she's walked into the bedroom and or into the house, and she cut these little oval windows and square windows out all by herself, and I just left them in there. Everything's not perfect in there, but I left it as is because that's her work. So I wanted to.
yeah.
Part of me is like, oh, I just want to make this look a little bit better. Like, no, we got to leave it the way it
Yeah.
is. So.
Well, I really like that aspect of it, that you can really see the craftiness, and I
Uh-huh.
think other kids will really appreciate that too. Especially if they know that um, someone their age or even younger helped to illustrate it.
Oh, definitely. I actually over at I've actually heard some parents when I was taking the book around to different sites, and one mom, I was leaving a school, she yelled at me. She said, "Oh, your book has inspired my daughter to write." And I said, "Really?" And I said, "That's great to hear." I think because she hears and sees that another little kid was a part of this process, and they feel like, "Oh, I can take this big thing on myself too." So I thought, that's good. That's good. We've inspired other kids to feel like
Yeah,
they can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are are you working on anything new? And do you have any plans to collaborate in the future with your daughter on another project?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're working on something called the circus fish, and it's pretty much done right now. We're just working on the back part of the book, and that we started cutting things out for that. Probably, I looked at my Facebook post, and it was actually probably a month ago last year we started cutting seaweed and little fish out and everything. So my eldest daughter, she started helping with the seaweed and whatnot, and whenever I have a character that I can't quite get myself, I give it to her. So I asked her to make me a crab and a dolphin and certain fish, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know where she comes up with it, but she draws it, and then I take it and then I cut it out and use it as a template. And then I use that same character throughout the book. And then I have a 2-year-old daughter now, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, she just started cutting her own little seaweed by herself, and and she cut her own fish out. I said, I need some fish for this book, and I didn't help her. I didn't do anything, and I looked over, and she handed me some fish, some little cutout fish, and she made little tails, and she surprises me. And then one day we were working on a picture on a page of the book, and somebody in my family had said, you need a sunken ship in your book. You need it because it's all about the ocean. So I said, oh, how am I going to make this ship? Because in your mind as an adult, you think, got to have it perfect. You got to have it perfect, right? And then I was talking to myself at my desk, and I look over, and my little 2-year-old's cutting this thing out, and she made me a little ship.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, so I used that as the base, and then I added wood planks on it and little, I decorated it. And then I used a piece of her thing that she had cut out to make it look like a sail. It is just a beautiful book because it's a part of their work and then also my work too. But it's just amazing how it's all, you look at it together and it's like, oh, that's a book that we created together. So
yeah, well, what a great way to work on something together as a family. Do something creative, and then help to inspire other kids to get creative and write and read books. That's really neat. And I think your daughters will probably just love having a record of their artwork in such a nice form. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah. My littlest one now, she's very excited about it too, to be a part of that, and she says, every time we go around and look at something, she says, oh, we added seaweed, or we did that to our book. So they're going to be so excited to see their creation when it comes out. So, but we're excited about that. Yeah.
Okay, well, great. We look forward to hearing more about your new book when that comes out. And yeah, do you have any tips or advice that you can give parents or kids, maybe along the lines of inspiring young readers or inspiring kids to be creative, or even taking on like such a big, cool project as Andrew the Blue-eared Puppy?
Yeah. To me, it just seemed to happen by chance, like even now, I get the kids excited about it. What all it really starts with is when they simply say, Mom, can you tell me a story? So right before bed, they want me to tell them a story. So I tell them a story, and then we visualize it together, and then usually that's what starts me in writing my next book. Like the other day, my daughter told me, she said, tell me a story. And I gathered it all from her little things that she had accomplished that year in school. And so when I come and I approach them with the story, and then they start getting excited about the story, then I get excited and I think, oh, well, let's turn this into a piece of art. So I'm trying to think, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's hard when you ask an artist to distill their creative process into proper advice. But
it's like such a natural process. And I think what the beauty of it, though, for me, what I see, how to inspire children to love books is one thing I can tell you, is when they see us work together in creating this book together, they get so excited about reading. They see the love of reading. They see how exciting and how it can take you away to different places, a story. And, even now my little kids, they will pull a book and they just read their little books by themselves, without even me asking them to read. So, and then they love to see me going to story time and I read to the kids, and they think, oh, this is life. We're supposed to enjoy a book. We're supposed to share a book. We're supposed to read a book to others. But inspiring artistic ways with them, I think it's just them seeing me get excited about something, and they seem to just want to be a part of what I'm doing. So, and if I think that's a big tip. If they see Mom engaging in an activity that's pretty, not inappropriate, like not constantly on a video game or constantly doing something, then they're just going to mimic what you do, So, so they see me, cutting and pasting and drawing and writing. And so they think, oh, I want to cut paste. Like today, my daughter, she just out of the blue drew this puppy. And it was the most adorable puppy I have ever seen in my life. I thought, I want to use that for a future book, So I think that's just the biggest tips is that they model your behavior. If you're excited about something that's positive, they're going to do what you do. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, Marla. We really appreciate your time tonight. And again, I'm Melanie, and we've been talking with Marla Huehmer, author of Andrew the Blue-eared Puppy and The Circus Fish, which I guess is coming out soon.
Yeah.
So check her work out on our platform, and you can find that at redcloverreader.com. And at Red Clover Reader, we are on a mission to help kids find fun and affordable content online that their parents feel good about, and help independent authors share their stories with wider audiences. So thanks for your time tonight, Marla, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Marla.
Okay, bye-bye.